Hello children, welcome to new academic session. We will start this session with the learning of active transformation of active and passive voice sentences. A transitive verb, a verb which as an object has two voices, active voice and passive voice. When the subject of a verb also performs the action named in the verb is said to be in the active voice. When the subject of a verb receives the action named in the verb is said to be in the passive voice. Look at this sentence. Sudha respects the teacher. What is the action performed? Respecting. What is the subject of a verb respects? Sudha. Who performs the action of respecting? Sudha. So, in this sentence, the subject of the verb also performed the action named in the verb. This sentence is said to be in the active voice. Now, consider this sentence. The teacher is respected by Sudha. What is the action performed? Respecting. What is the subject of the verb is respected? The teacher. Does the subject, the teacher, perform the action of respecting? No. On the contrary, the subject, the teacher, receives the action of respecting. We know that it is Sudha who performs the action. These sentences said to be in the passive voice. Once again, look at the two sentences given. Renu plays tennis. Tennis is played by Renu. Now, how the form has changed? The active object tennis has become the passive subject. The active subject Renu has become the passive object, and we use the preposition by before it. An appropriate form of the verb be is has been used, followed by the third form of the verb played. Only transitive verbs can be changed into passive voice. In passive voice, we always use the third form of the verb. Let's learn some more rules. While changing sentences from active to passive voice, we have to be careful about the use of personal pronouns. Sometimes we may have a personal pronoun I, we, she, me, her, etc. as the subject or the object in a sentence. While changing the voice of such a sentence, we shall have to handle the pronoun carefully. Let's see, two examples are given here. First, I need some help. Subject form the pronoun I. It is in active voice. So when we change this sentence to passive voice, some help will come in the place of subject. Some help is needed by me. I will change into me. Let's see the second example. Anu informed her. Now her is a pronoun and it is used in place of an object. When we write that object in place of a subject, her will change into she. This is a sentence of simple past tense. That's why we will use was. So our answer is she was informed by Anu. The object or the subject may be a long phrase instead of a single word. But when the sentence in the active voice is rewritten in the passive voice, the whole phrase will change its position. Let's see, two examples are given here in this slide. First example, the wind uprooted a large number of trees and electric poles. This is your active voice sentence. If we will use a large number of trees and electric poles, if we will divide this phrase, long phrase, into parts and we will write separately in a sentence, then we are not going to get meaningful sentence. So we need to pick up that long phrase, group of words along together, and we need to keep it in a place of a subject while transforming the sentence from active to passive voice. So we will write like this: a large number of trees and electric poles were uprooted by the wind. This is a sentence of simple past tense. That's why, and plural is there. That's why I have used were uprooted, V3 form of the verb, by the wind. Second example of this room. The parents of all the prize winning students attended the function. Here, the parents of all the prize winning students. A long phrase is in the place of a subject only. So we need to pick up all these words and we need to keep it together in place of an object while transforming a sentence from active to passive voice. So our answer is the function was attended by the parents of all the prize winning students. When the verb in the active voice take two objects, there are two forms in the passive voice. Let's look at the example. Your uncle teaches us English. Here us is an indirect object and English is a direct object. So in both ways we can transform our sentence from active to passive voice. We are, when we write us in place of a subject, it will change into we. So our answer is, if we pick up a us, we are taught English by our uncle, and if we write English in place of a subject, English is taught to us by your uncle. But the first form is preferred mostly. Sometimes the active verb is followed by a preposition. This preposition is retained while changing the verb from active to passive voice. Here we have two more examples. First, she did not care for me. When we change this sentence from active to passive voice, me will change into I, and this is again a sentence of simple past tense. So I was not cared for by her. We need to retain for at the same place. We are not going to change its form also. Second example, they shouted at the naughty boy. The answer is, the naughty boy was shouted at by them. If an interrogative sentence is being changed into passive voice, it will retain its interrogative form. It is not going to change into a simple sentence. Here we have you have one more example of an interrogative form. How does she do all this? Our interrogative word how, we need to keep it always at its place only, and the remaining sentence we need to change as per the key of the tense. How is all this done by her? Children, we are going to learn many tenses and verb forms in passive voice. So here is the list I have given you in this table, which we are going to learn one after another. We have simple sentences, we have continuous tenses, continuous form of the verbs, perfect form of the verbs, conditionals, perfect conditionals, modals, infinitives, participles. We are going to see one by one each and every tense and verb forms in detail with its active voice and passive voice key. Let's start our detailed study of the rules of active and passive voice with simple present tense. What is simple present tense? These tense expresses action done as a matter of habit or actions done repeatedly. It talks about action in a general way. It expresses permanent situations or states or situations true at the time of speaking. We often use words like usually, generally, everyday, always, never, often, sometimes with these tense. Look at these examples of changing verbs in the simple present tense into passive voice. Here we have our first sentence. We will see various examples, various sentences in this tense which will cover all kinds of transformation of simple present tense. in front of you, here is a first sentence. We use this room on special occasions. Active voice key also given down. Look at that key. Always while changing a sentence from active to passive voice, you need to check the tense or the verb form of that sentence. So first of all, you can see use here. Use shows us that this sentence is of simple present tense. So what is the active voice keys of simple present tense? Root form of the verb. Root form of the verb, and when the subject is third person singular, then we add with that root form s or es. So you can get it the verb forms like use, does, keeps, love, etc. When we transform this simple present tense from active to passive voice, we need to change verb forms of that tense, verb form of that sentence. For this, you need to apply this rule of passive voice. You need to add am, is, are as per the subject plus past participle form of the verb. We can call it also verb 3, V3 form also. So you will get it is used, am loved, are kept, plus by preposition always you need to add, and after by always you will write subject of the sentence. You will use a subject in place of an object in passive voice. Let's see this answer. Here in this sentence, this room is an object. When we change a sentence from active to passive voice, our object, which you will get it immediately always after the verb, will come first in place of a subject. So this room, now this room is a singular. That's why we have used is. Use will change into V3 form is used. We have added by. We will change into us. Right? It is personal pronoun. So we will change into us. On special occasions, the remaining word we need to keep it at the same place, and we will write answer like this. This room is used by us on special occasions. Let's see some more examples. Second sentence. I take good care of my books. This is a sentence of active voice. Good care of my books is an object which will come into the subject place. So good care of my books is taken by me. I will change into me in passive voice. Third sentence. This is a negative sentence. The people do not take the laws seriously. The laws is an object which will come into subject in passive voice. The laws, it is a plural. That's why in answer it will come are. Not will come in negative word. You have to keep it there. The laws are not. Take will change into taken seriously by the people. Fourth sentence. This book does not contain a large number of pictures. So a large number of pictures, that object will come in place of a subject. A large number of pictures are not contained by this book. Here we have interrogative sentences also. Our fifth number sentence is an interrogative sentence. Do you need money? As we know that we will keep interrogative form only. Interrogative sentence will retain only in interrogative form. So, while changing from active to passive voice, while applying the rule, we need to check it out that our object which will come into a subject is in singular or a plural. According to it, we will use auxiliary verb with it. This money is a singular, so we will write is money. And as per the interrogative form, interrogative sentence, we will always write verb first, then subject, then again auxiliary, the main verb, and by, and then your subject which will come into the object place, and question mark. It is always compulsory. So our answer is like this. Is money needed by you? Is money, as I told you, that is a singular, and money, need will change into needed by you. Next, 6 number sentence. Does the grocer sell tea? Now is tea, as per the rule I am changing here, is tea sold by the grocer? Understood? Let's see few more examples of interrogative sentences. Seventh number sentence. Don't rumor cause much damage? This is negative interrogative sentence. So our auxiliary verb also remain in negative form. Isn't much damage caused by rumors? Here we have WH question. Who keeps the accounts? Right? This is our WH question. That was our yes no question. In this, two ways you can transform our sentence from active to passive voice. You can keep it, if you wish, you can keep it by in the beginning, and you can keep it in the end also. So first transformation is like this. By whom are the accounts kept? Or if we keep who in the same place, as I showed you before also, in interrogative form we will keep interrogative word as at its place only, and the remaining sentence we will change. So here I am keeping who at its place only. So who are the accounts kept by? The second is preferred now these days only. We are not going to prefer the first, but you can use either of the pattern. Again, another WH question is ninth number. What do you need? So we'll keep our interrogative word in the beginning as it is. We only need to copy. What is needed by you? Our last sentence is, how much money do you save in a year? So how much money you need to copy as it is, and remaining things you need to change from active to passive voice is saved by you in a year. Children, here I have given you through this exercise 1 this practice of simple present tense. You need to change these following sentences into passive voice. Thank you. Do practice of these sentences, and we will meet you in next lecture. Thank you.